Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you will be able to, number one, know about parametric and non-parametric method. Two, understand one sample Z and T test. And number three, understand Wilcoxon signed rank test. Introduction. Parametric methods. These methods are categorized on the basis the population we are studying. Parametric methods are those for which the population is almost normal or we can estimate using a normal distribution after we invoke the central limit theorem. Eventually, the categorization of a method as non-parametric depends upon the conventions that are made about a population. A few parametric methods include confidence interval for a population mean with known standard deviation, confidence interval for a population mean with unknown standard deviation, confidence interval for a population variance, and confidence interval for the difference of two means with unknown standard deviation. Non-parametric methods. Non-parametric methods are statistical techniques for which any assumption of normality for the population is not required, unlike parametric methods. Certainly, the methods do not have any dependency on the population of interest. Non-parametric methods are also known as distribution-free methods. These are emerging in reputation and impact for many reasons. The main reason is that we are not forced to making as many assumptions about the population that we are working with as what we have to make with a parametric method. Many of these non-parametric methods are easy to apply and to understand. A few non-parametric methods include sign test for population mean, bootstrapping techniques, U-test for two independent means, Spearman correlation test.
Now, let us draw a comparison between parametric and non-parametric methods. There are multiple ways to use statistics to find a confidence interval about a mean. Many times, parametric methods are more efficient than the corresponding non-parametric methods. Although this difference in proficiency is usually not that much of a concern, there are cases where we need to consider which method is more proficient. Non-parametric statistical processes are less potent because they use less information in their calculation. For example, a parametric correlation uses information about the mean and deviation from the mean, while non-parametric correlation will use only the ordinal position of pairs of scores. The basic dissimilarity between parametric versus non-parametric is if your measurement scale is nominal or ordinal, then you use non-parametric statistics. If you are using interval or ratio scales, you use parametric statistics. There are other considerations which have to be taken into account. You have to look at the distribution of your data. If your information is supposed to take parametric statistics, you should check that the distributions are nearly normal. The best way to do this is to check the skew and kurtosis measure from the frequency output. We can see in the table we have analysis type, parametric procedure and non-parametric procedure. If the analysis type is to compare means between two distinct or independent groups, then for parametric procedures we use two sample t-test, and for non-parametric procedures we will use Wilcoxon rank sum test. If we have to compare two quantitative measurements taken from the same individual, then for parametric procedure we use paired t-test, and for non-parametric procedure we will use Wilcoxon signed rank test. If we have to compare means between three or more distinct independent groups, then for parametric procedure we will use ANOVA, and for non-parametric procedure we will use Kruskal and Wallace test. And if we have to estimate the degree of association between two quantitative variables, then for parametric procedures we will use Pearson's coefficient of correlation, and for non-parametric procedure we will use Spearman's rank correlation. Let us first discuss single sample parametric tests. One sample z-test. To determine whether the sample belongs to a particular population, one sample z-test is used. For example, if we are doing research on data collected from various groups of students of a school studying English, we may want to know if this particular sample of students is identical to or different from school students in general. This test is used only for the test of the sample mean. The main hypothesis is to determine whether the average of our sample, M, suggests that the students selected belong to the population with the known mean mu, or it comes from a different population. Depending upon the type of hypothesis, that is directional or non-directional, following forms of hypothesis can be used. In the equations, mu1 is the population from which the sample for the study was chosen, and mu is replaced by the actual value of the population mean. We have first null hypothesis as mu1 equals to mu and alternate hypothesis as mu1 is not equal to mu. Alternatively, null hypothesis can be mu1 is less than equal to mu, or alternate hypothesis could be mu1 is greater than mu. The third alternative can be null hypothesis being mu1 is greater than equal to mu and alternate hypothesis equals to mu1 less than mu. In one sample z-test, one group of subject is chosen, data is composed for this subject, and then the comparison between sample statistic M and population parameter mu is made. The population parameter helps us determine what to expect if our sample was found to be from that particular sample. In case the sample statistic is very diverse, then we can determine that it is from a dissimilar population. In this test, we are comparing the mean calculated on a single set of score to a known population mean. This test associates a sample to a defined population, in which defined population stands for various parameters of population which are known. Population distribution is defined in terms of central tendency and variability. For one sample z-test, known population is mu and sigma. Without mu and sigma, one sample z-test cannot be performed. A set of assumptions are there for all parametric statistics which needs to be met in order to properly use the statistics to test hypotheses. These assumptions used in one sample z-test are: random sampling form a defined population, interval or ratio scale of measurement, and population is normally distributed. Since random sampling is based on probability, it is required for all statistical inference. The psychologist may use z-test for independent means on approximately interval scales, even though the tests require interval or ratio data. Central limit theorem helps us to understand that even if population distribution is unknown, the sampling distribution of the mean will be approximately normally distributed in case sample size is large. For example, a psychologist claims that the children who have never faced a crime have more IQ. A random sample of 30 children IQ scores have a mean score of 112. Is there sufficient evidence to support the psychologist's claim? The mean population IQ is 100 with the standard deviation 15. Solution: 1. State the null hypothesis. The accepted fact is that the population mean is 100. So, null hypothesis is mu equals to 100. Second, now state the alternate hypothesis. The claim is that the children who have never faced a crime have more IQ score. So, alternate hypothesis is mu is greater than 100. Since we are looking for scores greater than the certain point, means that this is a one-tailed test. Third, state the alpha level, and if the alpha level is not given, then use 5% or 0.05. Fourth, Find the rejection region area given by the alpha level from the Z table, and area of 0.05 is equal to a Z score of 1.645. Fifth, find the test statistic using the formula Z equals to x bar minus mu 0 divided by sigma divided by under root n. Sixth, for this set of data, Z equals to 112 minus 100 divided by 15 divided by under root 30, which comes out to be 4.56. If step 6 is greater than step 4, reject the null hypothesis. If it's less than step 4, you cannot reject the null hypothesis. In this case, it is greater, so you can reject the null. One sample t-test. When information about full populations is not available, then one sample t-test is used to know whether the sample comes from a particular population. For example, if we want to know a particular sample of cloth is similar to or different from other cloth pieces in general, this test is used only for test of sample mean. Therefore, our hypothesis tests whether the mean of our sample M suggests that our cloth piece come from a population with a known mean mu, or whether it comes from a different population. On the basis of the fact that whether the research hypothesis is directional or non-directional, the hypothesis for one sample t-test can take one of the following forms. In the following, mu1 is the population from which the sample to be studied was chosen, whereas mu is replaced by the actual value of the population mean. The hypotheses are similar to those which are used for one sample z-test, that is, null hypothesis is mu1 is equals to mu, or alternate hypothesis is mu1 is not equal to mu, or it can be null hypothesis being mu1 is less than equal to mu and alternate hypothesis being mu1 is greater than mu, or null hypothesis can be mu1 being greater than equal to mu, or alternate hypothesis equals to mu1 less than mu. In one sample t-test, one group of subject is selected, data is collected for this subject, and then the sample statistic M is compared to the population parameter mu. The population parameter helps us determine what to expect if our sample was found to be from that particular sample. In case the sample statistic is very different, then we can conclude that it is from a different population. This test compares a sample to a defined population in which defined population stands for various parameters of population which are known. Population distribution is defined in terms of central tendency and variability. For one sample t-test, known population is mu. Population S is not required for one sample test. Without known population, one sample test cannot be performed. A set of conventions are there for all parametric statistics which needs to be fulfilled in order to properly use the statistics to test hypothesis. The conventions made in one sample t-test are like to those of one sample z-test. These conventions are: random sampling form a defined population, interval or ratio scale of measurement, population is normally distributed. Since random sampling is based on probability, it is required for all statistical inference. The psychologist may use t-test for dependent means on approximately interval scales, even though the test requires interval or ratio data. Central limit theorem helps us to understand that even if the population distribution is unknown, the sampling distribution of the mean will be approximately normally distributed in case sample size is large. In case of highly skewed and directional test, non-parametric alternatives should be used. For example, the mean weekly sales of the antidepressant drug was 146.3 tablets per store. After an advertising campaign, the mean weekly sales in 22 stores for a typical week increased to 153.7 and showed a standard deviation of 17.2. Was the advertising campaign successful? Solution. We are given n equals to 22, x bar equals to 153.7 and s equals to 17.2. So the null hypothesis will be h naught equals to mu is greater than 146.3 bars. Test statistics. Under the null hypothesis, the test statistics is t equals to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by under root n minus 1, which is approximately equal to t22 minus 1, that is equal to t21. So t equals to 153.7 minus 146.3 the whole divided by 17.2 divided by under root 21, which comes out to be 7.4 multiplied by under root 21 divided by 17.2, which on calculating equals to 1.9716. Tabulated value of t for 21 degrees of freedom at 5% level of significance for single-tailed test is 1.721. Since the calculated value is greater than the tabulated value, it is significant and we reject the null hypothesis. Hence, advertising campaign was helpful in promoting sales. Now, let us discuss about single sample non-parametric tests. The first is Wilcoxon signed rank test. Wilcoxon signed rank test is a non-parametric statistical hypothesis test used for comparison of two related samples, matched samples, or repeated measurements on a single sample to assess whether their population mean ranks differ, that is, it is paired difference test. It can be used as an alternative to the paired students t-test for matched pairs, or the t-test for dependent samples when the population cannot be assumed to be normally distributed. The assumption for testing hypotheses used are data are paired and come from the same population. Each pair is chosen randomly and independently, and the data are measured at least on an ordinal scale. For example, a study is run to evaluate the effectiveness of an exercise program in reducing systolic blood pressure in patients with pre-hypertension, defined as a systolic blood pressure between 120 to 139, or a diastolic blood pressure between 80 to 89. A total of 15 patients with pre-hypertension enrolled in the study, and their systolic blood pressure are measured. Each patient then participates in an exercise training program where they learn proper techniques and execution of a series of exercises. The patients are instructed to do the exercise program 3 times per week for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, systolic blood pressure are again measured. The data are shown below. Is there a difference in systolic blood pressure after participating in the exercise program as compared to before? Solution. First step is to set up the hypothesis and determine the level of significance. Here, null hypothesis is the median difference is 0 versus, and alternate hypothesis is the median difference is not 0 and alpha equals to 0.05. Step 2. Select the appropriate test statistic. The test statistic for the Wilcoxon signed rank test is W, defined as the smaller of the W plus and W minus, which are the sums of the positive and negative ranks respectively. Step 3. Set up the decision rule. The critical value of W can be found in the table of critical values. To determine the appropriate critical value, we need sample size n equals to 15 and our two-sided level of significance alpha equals to 0.05. The critical value for this two-sided test with n equals to 15 and alpha equals to 0.05 is 25, and the decision rule is as follows. Reject null hypothesis if W is less than equal to 25. Step 4. compute the test statistic. Because the before and after systolic blood pressures measures are paired, we compute different scores for each patient. It can be shown below. The next step is to rank the ordered absolute values of the different scores. Specifically, we assign ranks from 1 through n to the smallest through largest absolute values of the different scores, respectively, and assign mean rank when there are ties in the absolute values of the different scores. The final step is to attach the signs positive or negative of the observed differences to each rank as shown. In this example, W positive equals to 89 and W negative equals to 31. Recall that the sum of the ranks, ignoring the signs, will always be equal to n multiplied by n plus 1 the whole divided by 2. As a check on our assignment of ranks, we have n multiplied by n plus 1 the whole divided by 2 equals to 15 multiplied by 16 divided by 2, which comes out to be 120, which is equal to 89 plus 31. The test statistic is W equals to 31. Conclusion: we do not reject null hypothesis because 31 is greater than 25. Therefore, we do not have statistically significant evidence at alpha equals to 0.05 to show that the median difference in systolic blood pressures is not zero. That is, there is a significant difference in systolic blood pressures after the exercise program as compared to before.
Summary. Non-parametric methods are statistical techniques for which we do not have to make any assumption of normality for the population we are studying. Non-parametric statistical procedures are less powerful because they use less information in their calculation. To determine whether the sample belongs to a particular population, one sample Z test is used. When information about full populations is not available, then one sample T test is used to know whether the sample comes from a particular population. This test compares a sample to a defined population in which defined population stands for various parameters of population which are known. The Wilkinson signed rank test is a non-parametric statistical hypothesis test used for comparison of two related samples, matched samples, or repeated measurements on a single sample to assess whether the population means rank differ. Thanks.